In this last video, we're going to learn how to make a histogram. And notice here on the bottom, there's a tab that says histogram. But while we're still on this bar graph page, I just want to remind you, a histogram is like a bar graph, except that the values on the horizontal axis are quantitative, not qualitative. So qualitative are categories, okay, so these are not numbers. You can kind of see in ordering, this is more education, this is less education, but we don't have number values. When we do have number values, we will use a histogram and we want to put them in order, and we put the bars directly next to each other so we could see the patterns. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on histogram. This is the data we're going to be working with, okay, and Excel, making a histogram in Excel is kind of a pain in general, where they, if you look online, they usually ask you to use this data analysis tool pack, which I have, okay, and you have to download it, and it's kind of weird, okay. Instead, what I like to do, I think the easiest way to do this is we're going to make a bar chart, but then we're going to remove the space in between the bars, okay. So let's go ahead and look at this data. We're going to highlight it. Okay, we're going to hit insert and we're going to make a bar graph, and that's our first one, so we're going to click OK. Okay. And now we're just going to clean this up, and then we're going to remove these spaces. Okay. Okay, so we want our title. So what did this represent? So remember, this was from the Census Bureau, okay, and basically this data in 2000, it broke the population into groups of, this would be the poorest 20% of people in America, then the next 20%, 20 to 40th%. This is the 80th to 100th percentile, so the richest 20% Americans. And the vertical axis represents their median household net worth. Okay, again in the year 2000, and for your data set, you're going to do the same thing for the data for 2011. Okay, so let's add a little bit more to this title. Okay, so we want to include more information, and down here I have a title ready, and you're going to use a similar title, except you'll use in the year 2011. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Stupid mouse. Okay, I'm going to copy it by hitting this button. Now I'm going to go into the title, highlight over this so it will cover it, and click paste, not base. So median household net worth, and I'm going to put by this piece on the second line, by net worth quintiles in the year 2000. Okay, and notice in general, I haven't mentioned this yet, in general we start with the vertical axis, what it's representing, so median household net worth, okay, and then we use the word by and what the horizontal axis represents, so net worth quintiles in the year 2000. Okay, and then we add the year 2000 to be more specific about our data. Okay, now let's add some axis titles. So I'm going to go to design and create a space for horizontal and vertical axis titles. Okay, so this is net worth quintiles. So I'm going to click in here, highlight all of this. Net worth. And I'm going to write that there is percent ranges. Okay, so sometimes when we make these, we would just put 0, 20, 40, 60, and the bars would be in there, would be lined up with those values. But here we're saying this bar is going to represent 0 to 20%. This bar represents 20 to 40. So that's why I wrote as percent ranges. Okay, the axis title is the median household net worth in dollars. Oops, at the end. And I'm going to put dollars in parentheses. Okay, again, sorry, I'm going to make this bigger. I feel like I can't see it. There we go. Okay, so now we have our axis title. Let's just go ahead and make all of these darker. It'll make me happy. There are our labels. Okay. So now we want to move the bars so they're next to each other. Okay. We'll move the bars and then we'll put data labels on the top of these. Notice you can't even see this. If we look over here, this represented the poorest 20% of people. Their median net worth is negative $905. So it's actually going down a little bit, but we can't even see it, but we'll play with that till we can fix it. Okay, so now I'm going to click on a bar and I want to format data series. Is this where we do this? I'm going to right click and do format data series. There we go. Okay, so it had us on this fill-in line, and it's the little bar chart you want to go to. And basically change this gap width to 0%, and that's going to make them right next to each other. Don't use these. It'll take you forever to get to 0. I just highlight over it and put 0. Now I'm going to click somewhere, and notice they've all moved together. Okay, this is a little problematic right now because you can, it looks like stairs. You can kind of see here, but this won't come up in the graph where the bars are ending. So we have a couple of options. We can put a border on all of these in a different color, like a black border, and then you could distinguish one bar from the next. But I think we should just give them all different colors because we haven't done that yet. So let's go to fill in line. Okay, and this says vary colors by point. Granted, these aren't points, but if I click on this, it gives us these colors. Okay, and if you're interested, you could change the colors here. That's like 1970s version. Okay, or monochromatic where they're all the same color, just different shades. I'll just keep this first one. Okay, now I want to see this negative $900. Let's find it. Okay, so now this is a histogram. I know what we're doing. Well, let's go ahead and add our data labels. Okay, so notice here's our data label for all of these, and the negative 905 is actually down here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, okay, and this could be tricky. I hope I get it right on the first time, but I'm hovering over this. Notice now it says horizontal category axis. I don't want that. And this says the data point. This is the thing I want to drag. I'm going to drag this down. Excellent. I've never done it that well in my life. Okay, you want to drag it down so now we can see this actual value. So there's a bar here. It's going a little bit below. I'd like to make it so we could actually see it for a second. Nope, still can't see the bar. Okay, so think it's just about negative $1,000. The scaling is on the 100,000, so that's why we can't see it, but it's there. Could have sworn I saw a little piece of it before. Okay, now let's fix this formatting. Or not fix it, just make it darker. Okay, and now we have all of our charts and our bars. They're all labeled, they're touching, and we're all set. Okay. I just went to the media lesson spreadsheet. I just wanted you to see that in this one you can see a really sliver of a bar. In ours we don't quite see that, but that's okay. Oh, there we go. I made it just a little bit bigger and it's kind of popping up. Okay, so very, very small. Okay, so now let's copy this and put this with our other graphs. So I'm going to click, right click. Don't want copy here, so make sure, there we go. Copy. Here is our last chart, and now I'm just going to paste this in. Okay, so now we have all 4 of our charts in here. You'll want to go through, read these, make sure you don't have any typos, okay, or you don't want to change anything. And again, you can do that right in Microsoft Word if you want to. Now, to send this to me, to send your assignment when you're done, okay, I want this done in a very specific way because if you all title them graphs, then I'm not going to know whose is whose. Okay, go to File, Save As. I'm just going to save this on my desktop. So for me, I would make mine, my last name is Volpe. Do an underscore, so that's right next to the equal sign. You do shift in that button. My first name, and then I'm going to type MAT112. Okay. And then I'm going to click Save. Okay. Now it's saved as a doc, or a docx, depending on what you have. And to save it as a PDF, we're going to go File, Save As, change this drop-down menu to PDF, and that's how you need to send it to me. I don't know why it's connecting to printer. Okay, so now this is saved as a PDF, and wherever you saved it, you should see it. It has the 4 charts, okay, and this is the document you're going to upload into the More assignment for me. Okay, let me know if you have any trouble with that and if you have any questions.